The first sign was not pain, it was a smell. Amara touched her hair and froze. What she saw in the mirror made her heart stop. The diamond earring was still shining, but her hair was swelling, growing bigger every day. Doctors found nothing. Pastors prayed. Rich men stopped calling, and her clients stopped coming. And that was the moment she realized that her soft life was over. This is not just a story about wealth. It is a story about desperation, choices, and the hidden price of comfort. For more enjoyable African stories, kindly like, comment your thoughts, and please subscribe. That is how you can help me grow. And note, subscription is free. So, kindly hit the red subscription button to be notified when another video drops. Thank you. Let's dive in. Amara Okorie was born into a life that taught patience early. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Okorie, were farmers, quiet, resilient people whose strength showed not in words but in endurance. They woke before dawn, returned after sunset, and slept with tired bodies but hopeful hearts. From childhood, Amara understood struggle. Hunger was not dramatic in her home. It was subtle and frequent. Clothes were worn carefully so they could last. Shoes were removed and carried once the road became rough. Yet, among all this, Amara had something rare, an intense love for education. She read whenever she could. She studied under kerosene lights. She dreamed beyond the village. Her parents noticed. Though money was scarce, they made sacrifices quietly. Goats were sold. Portions of farmland were leased. Sometimes meals were skipped. Also, Amara could stay in school. Let her go far, her father often said. We may not escape this life, but she will. You see this poverty? It will never be her portion. When Amara finally graduated and received her NYSC posting letter, the village stood still. She had been posted to Lagos. That single word carried weight. Promise, fear, opportunity. Neighbors gathered. Women elated. Her mother cried openly. Her father slaughtered their last chicken. It felt like the reward for years of endurance. They gathered money the only way they could. Small contributions, borrowed notes, prayers whispered over folded cash. Her mother packed food carefully and prayed over Amara's bag before she left. Even if life becomes hard there, she said gently, do not lose yourself. Amara nodded, unaware of how deeply she would later understand those words. The journey to Lagos was long. Lagos welcomed her with noise, movement, and confusion. By the time she arrived, night had fallen, and exhaustion pressed heavily on her body. She lodged in a cheap hotel, close to the bus stop. Small room, one mattress, unfamiliar smells. That night, unable to sleep, she went downstairs to a bar. That was where she met Sarah Bello. Sarah was calm, polished, and confident. She spoke without rushing, dressed without trying too hard, and carried herself like someone who had mastered the city. When Amara struggled to pay at the bar, and later at the reception, Sarah stepped in casually, as though it was nothing. They talked. Amara spoke about school, NYSC fears and not knowing anyone in Lagos. Sarah listened attentively. Lagos is easier, Sarah said softly, when someone holds your hand. They exchanged contacts before parting. Days later, Sarah called. She asked about NYSC camp, accommodation, stress, and money. Then she made an offer that sounded unreal. No camp, no PPA, no stress. And at the end of the service year, Amara's certificate would be ready. Before Amara could fully process this information, money entered her account. A huge alert. A lot of money. For the first time in years, she felt life was compensating her for all the sacrifices. When Sarah later explained the business clearly, what it involved, the kind of men, the expectations, Amara listened calmly. She was not forced, she chose it. Not because she was wicked, and not because she wasn't thinking, but because she was tired of struggling. Sarah moved Amara into a fully furnished 2-bedroom apartment in a secured estate. Everything was perfect. Constant electricity, clean water, quiet nights, air-conditioned rooms. The bed was so soft. The house smelled new. Her life changed quickly. Her wardrobe filled with designer dresses and elegant shoes. She wore perfumes she once only admired from afar. She moved in tinted cars, escorted by drivers who addressed her as Madam. She ate in rooftop lounges, private hotels, and quiet restaurants where no one asked questions. She met powerful men, politicians who spoke in whispers, business moguls who never checked prices, chiefs whose presence commanded respect, and alajis who prayed regularly yet sought her company at night. They gifted her generously: gold chains, diamond pieces, wristwatches, cash-filled envelopes, huge alerts. Amara enjoyed the life fully. Amara's soft life was not small. It was loud, shining, and wide. She traveled often. One week, she was in Dubai, taking pictures beside tall buildings. Another time, she was in London, shopping on streets she had only seen on television. She visited Paris, Turkey, and luxury resorts, where food came without asking for money first. She stayed in hotels where beds were white and soft, breakfasts were served in silence, people spoke softly and smiled politely. She went shopping like it was a game. Shoes were worn once. Bags she kept for beauty. Clothes she did not remember buying. Men took her out. They ate in 5-star restaurants. They drank expensive wine. They laughed quietly. She moved from one hotel to another, one restaurant to the next. Each place felt better than the last. Amara felt she had entered a different world, a world where poverty could never reach her. In all of this, she sent money home to her parents for upkeep. And after 3 years of being in Lagos, she built a modern house for her parents. Also built a charity home for the children in her village. She never forgot where she came from. She had no guilt, no fear, just hope and comfort. Of all her clients, one stood out: Chief Adekunle Balogun. He was respectful, generous, and consistent. He never rushed her. He never shouted. Amara felt comfortable around him. But at home, his wife, Funke Balogun, noticed changes. Her husband no longer talked much. He returned late, smiled at his phone, stopped noticing her efforts, making strange calls. Funke tried harder, better meals, nicer clothes, longer prayers, but nothing changed. One afternoon, while arranging his clothes, she found the diamond earrings in his wardrobe. She froze. She knew it wasn't hers. She did not confront him. She sat quietly, thinking, until desperation pushed her elsewhere. Funke visited an old woman who gave her a substance, not out of wickedness, but heartbreak. She sprinkled it lightly on the earring and returned it to the wardrobe. Days later, Chief Balogun gifted the earring to Amara. Amara was delighted. She admired it in the mirror, turning her head slowly, smiling at how it sparkled. She wore it proudly, unaware of what had been placed upon her. Within a week, her hair began to swell. Then came the smell. Strong, embarrassing, uncontrollable. Doctors found nothing. Tests were clear. Pastors prayed. Medications failed. Clients stopped calling. Clients stopped coming too. Sarah grew distant and cold. And one day, Sarah came and she said calmly, "Amara, you are becoming a problem. You are not bringing in any profit, so can you kindly leave? You have to leave." Amara was sent away. And in tears, she packed her bags and left. As she has nowhere else to go, she returned home. She returned to her village quietly, broken and ashamed. Her parents were shocked. Her mother cried. Her father sat in silence. They took her everywhere. Prayer grounds, healers, churches. Money finished, strength wore thin. One night, her father asked gently, "Amara, what kind of life did you live in Lagos?" And in tears and severe pain, Amara told them everything. There lived an old woman named Mama Ifunanya, who lived by the riverside. She was well respected in the town. Before Amara went to Lagos for her youth service, she always helped her fetch water, run errands for the old woman, and do some other house chores. Mama Ifunanya's back was bent with age, and her eyes had seen many reasons. People said she knew herbs, but what she truly knew was life. When Amara was young, Mama Ifunanya once told her, "A child can run far from home, but the earth will always remember her footsteps." Amara laughed then and did not understand. When Amara returned from Lagos with her hair swollen and smelling, and her parents have tried all they could, Mama Ifunanya came visiting one day. When she saw Amara, she asked no question. She did not judge. She washed the wound gently with some warm herbs. She spoke softly. "Pain is not always punishment," she said. "Sometimes it's a message." Mama Ifunanya helped clean Amara's wound daily. She encouraged her parents to be patient, and slowly healing began. The swelling reduced, the smell stopped, the pain left. After Amara healed, her parents spoke to her gently. They said, "We know you wanted to escape poverty. We know your heart was good." They reminded her of the charity home and the children who still called her auntie. Mama Ifunanya added, "A road that teaches you is better than a road that destroys you." And after some weeks, after Amara had left Lagos for her village, Funke Balogun noticed something in her husband. He didn't change. He still stayed out late. He was still distant. He kept changing from one lady to the other. One night, Funke sat alone and cried. She realized something painful. You cannot keep a man with fear or force. You can only keep a man who wants to stay, a man who wants to be kept. She removed the substance from her house. She prayed alone. She stopped fighting unseen battles. Funke chose peace. She decided to protect her heart, not chase control. Amara stayed home for 6 months. She rested, she healed, she helped others, and one morning she dusted her certificates. She got a good job. Her charity foundation grew slowly and honestly. And so, Amara's story comes to an end. She lost the soft life, but she gained something far greater, herself. She learned that comfort without wisdom is dangerous, and that the road to success is never worth losing your heart. Remember, my friends, wealth and luxury can shine brightly, but a good heart, honesty, and patience will always light your way home. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more folk tales and life lessons. And tell me in the comments, if you were in Amara's shoes, what would you have done differently? Until next time, may your heart stay wise and your path stay true.